will say that it's never been like this, never have had it this bad. And what is happening again on the other side, talking about opposition? Opposition is capitalizing on what is happening now, saying that this administration is not meeting up to the yearnings of Nigeria, and so is advocating or calling for Nigerians to look the other way, bring opposition back, and of course to be the ruling party come 2027, and the scenario now may change. Well, with what is playing out, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has said that he understands the game. He knows that opposition is using insecurity as, the big stone to hold to knock him down. But he has also said that he's not a man that will easily give in. So we look at what played out in 2014 and come to 2015 when the PDP government then was taken out. Are we seeing a replay of 2014, 2015 when, the opposition then, APC, took over from the PDP? So how are you looking at it now and looking at if Nigeria can ever get out of this, terrible situation that she is in now?
Okay. Many thanks for having me once again, and I don't want to as well there. The political terrain is heating up as it were, and looking at our political trajectory in terms of where we are coming from, I'm talking of the democratic dispensation starting from 1999 till date, and you can segment that into two. You can say 1999 to 2011, and 2011 to date. The segmentation I'm doing is based on the fact that if you look at how our politicians have conducted themselves between the period 1999 to 2011, you will see a trajectory of some good level of politics, some a bit mild, not as bad as what we are seeing today. Politician is taking to a great extent to contesting fairly and winning and all of that. Even though we had parties that were taking advantage of all of that to undo the other party. What do I mean? When the PDP was in power in 1999 all the way, you had a situation where they could have elections and you have 99, 98% turnout in election in voting, and that's the things that were overturned through the courts as time goes on, But when it came to 2011, the whole dynamics changed. We now had a situation whereby politicians were deploying virtually every trick in the book to be able to get political power. What do I mean by that? You have situations where you have elected politicians in positions, and if those out of office, who will recruit the services of either bandits, either kidnappers, or even non-state actors to do some very dirty work in order to create a situation where the other party looks back or the ruling party looks back. And we've seen that continuously from 2011 all the way to 2015, like you mentioned, when we had the election between President Muhammadu Buhari and President Jonathan. And you could see a lot of mudslinging in that election, a lot of acrimonious campaigns. You had people who said different things, things that ordinarily you would not expect to see during politics. But those were the times, all of the things we are seeing today, those were the foundation as far as I'm concerned. Because at those times, people who recruited the families of terrorists from other parts of Africa into Nigeria to make the country ungovernable. And we've had people who confess to that. People who are politicians who have confessed to that. So unfortunately, this has taken root somehow. And for me, I see a trajectory in the fact that each time we are approaching an election year, there is this rise in insecurity, there's a rise in kidnapping and banditry, and it's almost a given that it's due largely to the fact that maybe the opposition is trying as much as possible to paint the government in position bad, or maybe the government in position are also trying to discredit the opposition or make their party unsettled. So, for me, I think this is very, very, very big for the weekend, and it's not good for our clients. And the way it's going, we see a situation whereby people, Nigerians, are the ones suffering the brunt of all of this. You have people, example, in the states that were just freed, about over 300 and something of them in captivity, have been in captivity for God knows how long. And they are having the one we have in the Royal State today in Orile local government. 25 days and counting, they are still in captivity. This you cannot detach from the political entanglement that we are having in the country. And I think our politicians need to reorientate and reorganize themselves to address issues and politics in a very good way, rather than trying to see how they discredit one another and then make the political parties ineffective and all of that, so they could get votes at the end of the day. Because if the people are so demoralized and a number of people are killed, people are not people are going to vote anyway, because people will look at it and say, look, the democracy might not even be working. And they'll be looking at, look, they are not going to vote. And that will also fuel what we call voter apathy. And if you have voter apathy, then it means that the democracy itself is not serving us or serving the good we want for our country and our people.
You put some points across to me, and I want to stay on that. Either way you look at it, Honorable, Nigeria is largely an uninformed society. They are in the majority, and of course, come 2027, what Nigerians will be going to the polls, what will be on their minds would be about the performance of this administration for, the length of time it has been there. So what is being played out and what the opposition is using is to say that insecurity is worse, and of course, it is this government. Then we begin to ask the question. People say that this government has not had the political will to deal with insecurity, and so that even the government is also complicit in what we see today. So when all of that comes up, and you have an uninformed society, a gullible society, how well will this sit with the ruling party? Is the opposition going to give the ruling party a good run for its money this time around?
Okay, you see, exactly what you mentioned about a population, a mass population that is totally uninformed is what the politicians are playing on. That was what they played on in 2011. That's what they played on in 2015. That is what they are playing on now, because they know that the Nigerian people tends to not have information at their disposal, and they only want to react to what they see, what they feel, how they feel it directly, not looking beyond that and the issues that are involved in all of this. So it doesn't matter whether the government is doing very well or the government is having the deliberateness that's supposed to. Our politicians keep trying to punch, notwithstanding the fact that maybe he or she doesn't even have the solution, or doesn't have the courage, or doesn't have what it takes to fix the problems that we're talking about. So in that way, the politicians understand this, and they try to use that against the electorate, because they know that the electorate have very little information, and maybe some people also do not go out to do proper sensitization. And I've said this a number of times. One of the things that led to the fall of the Jonathan administration was the fact that Nigerian people did not have the information they needed. And the issues were used against the government, talk about the issue of the kidnap of the girls, the issue of that's the Chibok girls I'm talking about now, and then the issue of the fuel subsidy removal and all of that. And all of this were painted in a picture that tends to be looking good to the people. And the people without really see or try to understand beyond. Even then, we had the Lamide Sanusi of that's the current area of Kano, and Dr. Toyin, who were all over the country trying to explain these things. But it was sounding more elitist to most people, and they really were not able to pay attention to the details. So for me, the same thing is happening right now in terms of what we are seeing. Yes, we are having issue of insecurity. I remember then during the Goodluck Jonathan era, we had bombing virtually everywhere, in Abuja, in Borno, in Jos, everywhere, in Kaduna, and we had all of this insecurity then. And the same thing, the same trajectory is what we are seeing now. But for me, the problem I have is government has the monopoly of violence, and that is why they are a government. They should be able to gather insights, gather information, gather all they need to put together to be able to address the issue of insecurity. For me, there is no excuse for government not to be able to handle the issue of insecurity, because you might be making excuses that, look, because of the election cycle, that's what we're doing. But you are the government. What are you doing about it? And the government, you have at your disposal the Nigerian Army, the Nigerian Air Force, the Navy, the DSS, the all the intelligence agencies and the services. You have all of these agencies at your disposal. So you must put them to use to effectively curb insecurity in the country. Because the Nigerian people, the average Nigerian people, will act based on what they see. They will act based on when they go to the market and see the value and the cost of goods and services in the market. It's not about the beautiful economic trajectory and the commentary of the World Bank or the IMF or even the World Trade Organization that matters to them, because they are not interested in that. They are interested in the naira and kobo of what is happening. So that is why the government has a duty to ensure that the curb insecurity by all means necessary, and I mean by all means necessary, so as to be able to say, look, we are the government in charge here, and then to address issues that has to do with inflation, rise in terms of prices, to make Nigerians understand what is happening and how it is happening. In the very instance we don't do that, at the end of the day, what Nigerians see is what will determine the way they vote. And when it is time to vote, the opposition will continuously push this narrative that this government cannot do and it cannot do. And unfortunately, as it were, they might end up with even a government that is worse off than what we have today. So, and those are the dynamics that I see in this political situation. It's about the politician, and for them it's about grabbing power. It's not about whether the interests of the people, whether the people are going to live well, whether their welfare is paramount, their lives and property is paramount. That is not the issue. The issue for the average politician, as far as Nigeria is concerned, is to grab power, to be in power, to be in charge. And that is not what we have. That's what we have in democracy. In a democracy, the power is given to you and to better the lives of the people of the country.
Honorable, the North has come out to say that Bola Ahmed Tinubu or the present administration has not done well for the people of the North. I will still go back to insecurity is still there. There's job, unemployment still there. Hard times are still with the people here. And so all of these are the things playing out about this administration. And so the North is saying that this administration has not just done enough for them. And so, of course, elections are by numbers, and the North will say it has the numbers. For you, with 30 governors or 31 governors of the APC all shouting on your mandate we stand, is it a done deal for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu come 2027 that he may or he might coast home to victory, or that even with 31 governors behind him, there are daggers that could be used to stab him in the back? What's your thought here?
Talking about the North and they not having a good deal, you see, the truth about it is this: every part of this country, every segment of this country is agitating for one thing or the other, and every part of this country is saying, look, they have not had a good deal and all of that. So, for me, I think if you look at the figures as it were, if you want to look at the figures, and you want to look at the trajectory of what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu set out to do when he was campaigning and after he has been office. One of the things that stood out for me, was the fact that the president said then that one of the fundamental problems of Nigeria is the problem of revenue. That there isn't enough revenue to be able to take care of the issues that are the problems that Nigeria is grappling with. And in doing that, one of the things we did when we came into office was to take out the subsidy. It was a very painful thing. It was something that hurt most Nigerians, and it's still hurting most Nigerians today. But the question you ask is, after taking out that subsidy, we've had a situation whereby most of the states, not most, all of the states, all of the local governments, as of today, earn about triple of what they used to earn towards the twilight of the President Muhammadu Buhari era. Most of them, some of them even earn as much as possible of what they need to earn then, which speaks to the issue of the fact that now they have more money. Now the question is, where is the money going? I'm talking of the state and the local governments. Where is the money going? Why is it that we are not seeing the impact of this money that is being made from the subsidy removal or impacting on the people at the state level? Because one of the things that the mistake most of the people make is the fact that we are always fixated on the federal. Nobody is asking questions about what is the spending at the state level, what is the income at the state level, how these funds have been channeled in terms of deliverables for the Nigerian people. Nobody is asking those very, very serious questions. And the very moment we don't do that, we are bound to have mistakes. Because anybody, let's assume hypothetically that President Tinubu is out of power by 2007. I will not see anybody coming into power reversing the subsidy. That will not work, because that will be crippling the state and local government. If you remember, during the time of President Muhammadu Buhari, he had to lend money to the state, give them grants to be able to pay salaries and take care of a lot of other things. But today, you can see that none of the states is telling you that they cannot pay salaries. Virtually all of them are paying the new minimum wage, and they are even advocating for an increment. Basically, the government of Kwara State advocated that it is time the federal government to increase the minimum wage from 70,000 to 100,000 naira. Now, for me, that tells me that the states have more than enough to be able to take care of their state, take care of their workers, and do a lot in their state. Why are we not seeing it translating in their state? Why are we not seeing local government working? The president came up with proceeding to the Supreme Court and trying to get a judgment from the Supreme Court about local government autonomy, which the Supreme Court agreed with the federal government that, look, the local government someday should be going directly to the local government. How many of the state governors have been able to or have allowed the local government to function effectively in terms of their funding? How many of them are not tampering with local government funding? So, because if this funding gets to the local government and they are used by the local government, it means that more small funds will go directly to the locals and the grassroots, people at the grassroots, in terms of what can be delivered to them. So for me, these are the challenges we must face. The issue about the having 31 states doesn't really hold water, because things will turn around. Because we have seen state governors that lost their state. An example is during the last election, Nasarawa State, the then chairman of PAPC was from Nasarawa State, and he lost the state. Another example, I think, is the Katsina State, the president's own state. So you have a number of things like this. It will swing in different ways in terms of when it comes to election. But the truth about it is that whoever is coming, or whoever says, I want to turn Nigeria into a paradise, what exactly does he want to do? How does he want to achieve it? Those are the questions Nigerians are not asking. Those are the questions that the politicians are not also talking about or answering. All they are doing is saying we want to get this party out of power and we want to come in. So what exactly are you going to do differently? Are you going to reinstate the subsidy? If you are going to reinstate the subsidy, are you going to start borrowing again all over so as to sustain the subsidy? Are you going to support the Naira? Because today the Naira is determined by market forces. If you are not going to allow market forces to determine the Naira, are you going to start borrowing again to reinforce the Naira so that the value of the Naira can become stronger? If these are the things you are going to do, it's just a thing with a green day because the economy in no time will collapse. And all of this, the average man out there might not understand all of these dynamics. But the problem is that the politicians really don't care about that. All they really bother about is for them to grab power and run away with it, as it is said in most places.
All right. Honorable, getting signals that I must go for a commercial break. I'll be back with you at the turn of the break.
Invicta FM.
Oh yeah, shoppers, make una hear correct gist. Maggi chicken flavor promo don land o.
Buy Maggi chicken flavor 50 double cubes pack and get 10 extra cubes free.
Yes so, and if you buy small 10 double cubes pack, you go get 4 cubes free.
Na more rich chicken taste, more enjoyment and more value for your money.
Rush go your nearest shop now and ask for Maggi chicken flavor promo pack before e finish. Offer valid while stocks last. Me and Maggi, so good together.
E get why we dey plan and pray for our children every day.
E get why.
E get why we dey get up to go hustle every day.
E get why.
And e get why Nigerians trust M&B paracetamol, the red one, every day.
E get why.
E dey show pain red card kia, so we fit to face life without pains. Therefore, next time pain show him wawa face, knock am with M&B paracetamol, the red one.
E get why.
M&B paracetamol, the red one na for you and your family, and it dey clear pain, small cold and fever one hand. If your symptoms no clear after 2 days, go see doctor. M&B paracetamol go give you quick relief one time.
I found something inside my Nescafe Original 3-in-1 pack the other day. A unique code printed inside.
Yes, so every pack of Nescafe Original 3-in-1 now comes with a code inside in the Nescafe Next Level promo. Just text the code to *7022# and you could win 500,000 naira cash, business tools, and training. Up to 1 million naira in prizes to be won. Promo runs until June 30th, 2026. T's and C's apply. Nescafe. Make your world.
Mama ne masu kyau sun sani, Dettol na tsaro kowace rana. Idan aka fito waje, neman arziki fa, kasuwanci kuma fa, yara na wasa a taɓo, amma ban damu ba. Awanni 12 na tsaro kowace rana.
Da amfani koyaushe, Dettol yana da sinadarin tsaro na tsawon awanni 12. Dettol, tsare iyalanku daga ƙwayoyin cututtuka sama da 100 domin su zauna cikin ƙoshin lafiya.
Dettol, be 100% sure.
Lokacin jin daɗi sai Kivo Krima.
Idan na sha ko lokacin shan dari. Kivo.
1xBet, where sports come alive. Join the game on promo on the site or app. Win an iPhone 16 and cash prizes up to 750,000 naira. Enter promo code Nigeria on and boost your game. 1xBet, game on, together in the game. Bet responsibly. 18 plus. T's and C's apply.
Hey, everybody come outside, oh! It don't happen.
Cletus, why you dey shout like this?
Go TV don't bust my head, oh! You never hear say decoder plus antenna plus 1 month jolly subscription. Now only 15,000 naira.
You say?
Go TV don scatter market with their World Cup special offer. Oh. With only 15,000 naira, we go carry cha-cha decoder plus antenna plus 1 month subscription. Take torchlight the whole 104 matches for this FIFA World Cup 2026 with correct pidgin commentary. All this go happen live for 4 correct channels for Super Sport on top Go TV.
Hey, this one not be smart, you know. Make I go arrange my own decoder sharp.
Go TV. Love it.
Hasken rana in ya fito sabuwar rana ta bayyana ga uniform an shirya mana kuma ga mu akan hanyar zuwa Milo a cikin kofi me dimi ga inganci an yi shi da malta Milo an yi shi da madara Milo an sa mishi koko Milo yanda dai ya kamata Milo mama ta ce in shanye
Milo.
No be one, no be two, we plenty. This not true. With cocoa glow, your skin they glow. Even tone, your shine they show. Aloe soothe for soft skin, dry skin repair, no dryness. Made extra hydration for strong moisture. Advanced repair, skin good as new. This is how we do.
Vaseline lotions, enriched with extracts, oils, and moisturizing glycerin. Choose the lotion that gets you.
Oh, you choose your own. Make your skin in the show. Vaseline lotions for you. Ooh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Is it okay to make fun of our tooth gap? Let's have a talk. Colgate makes your teeth so strong. Stop cover your mouth. Not to do younger with your smile. Brush your teeth with Colgate. Zero cavities and fresh breath. If you use a Colgate paste. Not to do younger with your smile. Brush your teeth with Colgate. Colgate, #1 oral care brand in the world.
Jolly Johnny akan titi ke magana. A yau za mu ga kyakkyawar sani da mutane suka yi wa Maggi cikin flavor. Na gaba karanto harufan celery.
SEALARRIE celery.
Haba mutumina, ka ce kawai ka sauya harufan zuwa salary. To ga damar karshe karanto mana harufan turmeric.
TURMERIC. Turmeric.
Kin yi daidai ga kwali ɗaya na Maggi cikin flavor ki ɗauka.
Maggi cikin flavor tare da albasa, celery da kuma turmeric mai canza wasa na.
Even in Nigeria, that hot pounded yam and soup can't wait because a penalty is about to be taken. The FIFA World Cup 2026 starts June 11th to July 19th. All 104 games, pigeon commentary, and 4 dedicated channels. Yes! Get the special offer, DSTV decoder, dish, and 1 month Yanga subscription for only 15,000 naira. The FIFA World Cup live on Supersport, only on DSTV.
Invicta 98.9 FM.
Yes. Hello, yes, I'm hearing you.
Program perspective this morning, and Honorable HON.ISIAKA GBADAMOSI, a Sustainable Development Goals advocate, a public affairs analyst, a public relations consultant, and a politician, with us on the program, putting his thoughts on developing stories in Nigeria, and of course looking at this administration and the scorecard and what it will present to Nigerians. And of course, the worry here is that how informed are Nigerians to know what this administration is coming up with and how, you know, it could be beneficial to the people. And so we're getting all of that here. But Honorable, I like to look at opposition. We have opposition on the other hand saying that it must, you know, take out this administration by whatever means and all the means that it can use. And so we need to ask the question: how ready is opposition in all of this, and and how strong and ready are they to push out, this present administration? When you consider that Peter Obi, of course, the NDC, Atiku, the ADC, and of course, the other smaller parties coming up. The PDP is having its own, issues there. And so, giving this party, or the ruling party, a good run for its money, how prepared would you say, and how ready is opposition to do that?
The opposition, in my thoughts, and maybe I will want to set a bit of a background before stating my final submission. You see, if you look at what has happened with the opposition in the past 1 year or thereabouts, for me, the opposition has been more or less in disarray. The PDP used to be the main opposition party after the 2023 election. The PDP used to be the main opposition party. As of today, the PDP is as good as non-existent. And my reason is this: the PDP used to have about 14 governors out of the 36 governors we have. And today they do not have just one. Even one is not remaining. All of them have changed ship into other parties. Now, also, the PDP is also plagued with crisis, court cases, and all of that. And we now have the Family Tiraki group who are saying that they are the most to be recognized. And we also have the group led by Jason Wiki, which is also insisting that they are the ones to be recognized. And the court has made pronouncement on this. So the PDP as a major opposition has really suffered a huge setback. So for me, there is a semblance of a really formidable opposition. The one that is emerging right now is the ADC. But the question you must ask is, what level of structure does the ADC have across the country in order to be able to push against this incumbent? The same thing applies to the NDC. The NDC also, what structure does the NDC have? What level of acceptability does the NDC have? Both the ADC and the NDC, both of them really have not had what we call an election test for me. The only one that the NDC had, the ADC had was with Honorable Adebide, who was sole candidate, who was elected on the platform of that party before coming in of David Mark and Bokuma Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Now, so they really have not been tested in terms of the general election per se. So we cannot really say for sure how well they will do in the next coming election. Then the NDC is a new party, is a fresh party. And then you now have an NDC that is still trying to put together its house. If you look at the news lately, they've been having a lot of issues. Recently, I read that former governor of Kano State, Onkoso, has threatened to withdraw from the party if his candidates are not given a ticket and all of that. And you also have those who are also supporting Obi having their own way and insisting on some position. So those are the issues for me that the opposition are having. The opposition, as it stands today, is in complete disarray. And if the opposition is not able to coordinate properly, if they are not able to coordinate properly, it will be difficult or impossible to unseat this administration, because they seem to be consolidating as the day goes by. They seem to be having a hand on things in terms of the political space. But when you now talk of the issue of insecurity and all of that, now that is where they have their own challenges, and that is where the opposition are exploring. But beyond that, you must look at your own structure as a party. How do you have the structure that can take you through the election and succeed in this election?
And for all that is happening to opposition today, again, I mean, your own side of that story, that the ruling party has a hand in causing this disarray and disaffection among members of the opposition party. Do you see that as another strategy, right or wrong, that the ruling administration is using?
Oh, well, for me, those are excuses. I insist they are all excuses. And why do I say that? It's not because of the fact that I do not understand the fact that ruling party might have a hand in it. No. It's because the opposition has refused to be able to manage its own crisis. they've allowed the opposition, they've allowed the ruling party to enter into their midst, fragment their ranks, and be able to take advantage of all that is happening within them. So if you have a good opposition that's going to close its ranks and has a common goal, the common goal of unseating the incumbent government, then you will not have this issue of the government is involved in sharing our ranks. No, the government or the ruling party might be doing all it can, all it's supposed to do to destabilize the party. But the party must display, and I want to cite this example, very, very instructive example. When in 2007, the AG lost their state in the southwest, remaining only Lagos State. That Lagos State was then the governor of Lagos State was now the president of the Federal Republic, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He stood in the party and did everything to rebuild the party. And one after the other, he was able to recover all of those states. And one after the other, we now had a CPC led by General Muhammadu Buhari that had one state, which is Nasarawa State. And then they formed a coalition along with what we call the NPDP. The NPDP there, led by former Senate President Bukola Saraki, they came together and along with some splinters of ABGA and formed what they call the APC. Now, this is the lesson I expect the opposition party to be taking. They must be able to subdue their personal and self-interest in the overall interest of seeing how they unseat the ruling party. But that is not the case. You have an Atiku Abubakar working in one direction, a Peter Obi working in the other direction, then you have a Makinde also in another direction, and you have, for me, I think the opposition as it stands today is in disarray, and I don't see them working together, except they're able to harmonize and work together, then they can be a formidable opposition to the ruling party.
The fault lines of Nigeria, do you see that playing out come 2027? Our fault lines have always been on our religion, tribe, regions, and ethnicity and all of that. Do you see that again also playing a big role in how the elections of 2027 may go?
You know what? Even if Nigerians are able to unite and to say, look, we want to do this, we want to do it right, the politicians will always take advantage of these fault lines. And it has continued to happen. You know, last election, 2023, we had the issue of Muslim ticket, and that was a very strong point of campaign. And then we had this video that was all about that it was alleged to be the current presidential candidate of NDC, Peter Obi, and the general overseer of Winners Chapel, where we had a number of people that were said that this is a war and all of that. So there is always that thing that the politician will exploit the fault lines of this country. And for me, I think that is very dangerous, that is very selfish, that is very self-centered on the part of the politician, because at the end of the day, that could be a blame that we might not be able to recover from. Because when we take advantage of this fault line, especially religion, it is a very, very volatile situation. And that was taken advantage of. And we saw it in the trend of voting in the last election. We saw a trend of voting in Kaduna, in Benue, in Plateau, in Nasarawa, and the southeastern states. There was this trend of voting, and also in Lagos. So, if we deploy this also, it might be to the advantage of the politician, but is it good for us as a people, as a country? For me, I think it's very dangerous for us as a country, and our politicians must be ingenious enough to design other ways of campaigning, of pushing a position, rather than use religion to tear us apart, because it is a very, very volatile subline.
Well, again, quickly, before I bring the audience into this conversation, Bola Ahmed Tinubu and of course, his supporters, and of course, we know how the APC governors are running helter-skelter to, give him a backup. And of course, people say that it is not the governors that will go to the polls. It is about the people. And so this explanation that he has to do to the people, that the pains that has made Nigerians go through, because he's come to say that after the pains will come the gains. But here we are, close to 2027, and Nigerians are still crying, that the pains are unbearable and all of that. So for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, what will he be telling Nigerians, and what Nigerians will he be talking to? Because there are the elites, and of course we have those I mentioned earlier, the uninformed. So how does he get himself out of this quagmire of explaining to Nigerians what his administration is doing so good and so well that Nigerians will come to will benefit from the so much that is putting on to making Nigeria a better place for all of us?
Oh, I think that the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu needs to do more in terms of reaching out to the Nigerian people. That is one. And there's something I need to.
Honorable, before I go further on that, you're a PR consultant. What has this administration, the framers or the people, the public, enlightenment group of this administration, how well have they performed in enlightening Nigerians about the performance of this administration?
Okay, the performance of the PR team of the president.
Yes.
Let me first talk about what I mentioned earlier with regards to what I missed. The president talked about the issue of state policing, and I think as far back as maybe last year, he gave a directive about the National Assembly doing something, coming up with a bill and all that about state. Now, the governors are quick to tell you and point to the federal government that they are in charge of state policing, in charge of the security of the nation. Yes, that's what the Constitution says. But the same Constitution gave the governors the title of the chief security officer of their state. Now, for me, if that's the case, I do know that reading the Constitution and looking at what is on ground, the governors are having a title they cannot implement due to the fact that they don't have the instruments to implement it. And what I would have expected these governors to do, they would have been the one that would be pushing for having state policing, so that they would be able to have a police at their disposal. They could train, they could harm, they could organize and deploy in the case of when you have such issues of insecurity. And then that will also complement the federal resources that is coming. Besides that, we have what we call the security bills that come to the governors on a monthly basis. The governors and the local government chairmen on a monthly basis. The question is, how much of this has been deployed to ensure that security is top-notch? But every single one of them will point to the federal government. How much are they doing in terms of what changing the law, amending the law, insisting on having a law that benefits? Now, let me cite you one interesting example. If today the revenue sharing formula were to be tinkered to favor the federal government the more, this same government will fight. They will go to the appeal court. They will go to the Supreme Court. They will go to the highest level to fight against it. But and that's because it concerns resources that is accruing to them. But when it comes to the security of life and property, I have not seen any one of them having that view to push, to tell the national legislators to say, look, this is a priority, we want it treated like the doctrine of necessity. They are not doing that. So for me, I think that is a real issue on its own. And the governors need to wake up. They need to do more in terms of security of their state. And the president needs to push harder for me. Talking about the media team of the president, for me, I think the media team of the president are not doing a good job. How do I mean? I think there is at every level, when I say at every level, I mean at the national level and the state level, you need to have spokespersons who are able to accentuate the position of what they are doing. One interesting example that happened recently, Senator Ali Ndume, was energizing the Tinubu administration, saying that they've done well because of the fact that the president has approved the road, the super highway between Gombe and Biu in Borno State. Now, the question is, Ali Ndume has always been a staunch critic of this administration. But just a few days back, he was the one who was saying no, even for this alone, the people of Biu and Gombe will vote for the president. Now, the point I'm making is that the president and the office of the president are the ones that are supposed to organize a very robust public relations team. And they're supposed to put the narrative, and they're supposed to put out there what the government is doing, how they are doing it, when they are doing it. Is it just approval, or are they already working on it? You will hear of the Badagry Sokoto Super Highway. What is the level of work being done? What is the level of completion? And all of that. These are things that we want to know about. And how is it going to be of benefit to them? So, except the media team of the president becomes much more robust, becomes much more creative, and they're able to reach more people, I think the narrative the opposition is feeling will gain more ground. And coupled with the fact that the people are feeling the pinch of the kind of situation we are in terms of energy, in terms of food, in terms of daily survival, Nigerians would want to believe that, look, this government is not doing anything.
All right, move this conversation. Let's get to the audience into it. And join us on these numbers, 081 40,000 989, 081 40,000 989, or 070 87 800 989. 070 87 800 989. We're streaming with this program live. Join us on our Facebook page, Invicta 98.9. Drop your comments there. We'll bring them all to our guests this morning. Take your calls now. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Tony.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you. Your name, where you're calling from?
This is Babaka Guma from Angonsori.
Okay, Babaka Guma. All right, let's hear you.
Babaka Guma from Angonsori.
Yes, Babaka Guma, let's hear you.
I'm greeting our guests in the studio. My problem, in fact, when you look at the administration of APC, they are human beings, they are not angels. But at least they should try at least to do something that Nigerians will be happy about it. We are not saying that all things are bad, but at least let them try the best they can, so that all of us will enjoy the administration of democracy. Let me put it this way. For all those years during the administration of Buhari, 8 years, insecurity in this country, yet they have not even detected who are the patriotics of this act. And Tinubu came from the board. We were even thinking that things will come down. Yes, things are just nothing. Socially, we talk about the security, talk about petrol, think about other things. Things are not working well. Only praying towards our government. That's the work of Christian, Muslim, we only pray. And then we have our religion. I know Islam did not teach us to become wicked. Christianity did not teach us to become wicked people. That we don't have mercy. Even the animal kingdom, they love each other. Compared to what happened in this government. We pray that God will visit them, that let them think and make things easy for us to live in peace and unity.
All right.
We don't trust each other now.
Okay. All right.
It is the Lord himself who will do that for us.
Okay. All right, we got that. Okay. Babaka Guma, yeah. We got that. We'll still take your call and then bring it on to our guest this morning, Honorable HON.ISIAKA GBADAMOSI. The program is Perspectives and it's coming to you on Invicta 98.9. Hello, good morning.
God bless you, the Olu himself.
Good morning.
And I welcome your guests. Very well. I just want to appreciate you, Mr. Swan, and I still remember how much you managed. You asked a very simple question that gladdens my heart. In 2014, will it repeat itself in 2027? I say a very big yes to that. I say yes. Because they use the same insecurity to unseat Goodluck Jonathan. To an extent, the president told Goodluck Jonathan to resign, that he does not have capacity of securing lives and property. Today, what are we seeing? A lot of children are in captivities. only what matters to him, the president, is about 2027. What ought not to be. The oath of office he took, the day of inauguration was to protect lives and property. But today, where is the life and property? They protected. Only to people are singing on his mandate, and they failed to ask him because that's what we're going to use against him come 2027. There is no steady power supply, which he promised us. And he told us that as soon as subsidy is gone, no more borrowing. But today, I and Oloyi and the guests in the studio have been taxed. What are they doing with the money, and they are still borrowing? And now the lives and property you promised to protect, you are not doing that. You were in Lagos for celebrate. Lagos to Ibadan with his chopper, less than 10 minutes will be in the family, those families. So sympathize with them. But they refused that. They came back only for the wife to tell us that the women leaders, giving them brand new car, tell them to go and showcase people their husband achievement. What achievement? When we have little children, minors in the forest, and you have does not even bother them. Don't you expect us to come and give him money for second time?
Okay, thank you very much. Well, Honorable GBADAMOSI, I'll come over to you. You had some of the, callers there.
I was not able to make out what they said.
I think again, all of them hammered on promises made by this administration. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu promised Nigerians that electricity will be, will be a thing that Nigerians will come to enjoy. But till this moment, as we're talking, that has also been an issue. We can't have that. He's talking about children in captivity in the hands of bandits, kidnappers and terrorist group. And of course, this administration does not seem to have an answer. Babaka Goma also mentioned on insecurity, all bordering on insecurity and promises made by this administration that has not been kept. And that's, what Nigerians are talking about now.
Oh, okay. I did not really make out the details of that very well. Having some, I think maybe the network is a bit active.
Okay.
But maybe from what I heard some of the speakers say, talking about the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu did maybe the same thing when Jonathan was president and all of that. You see, for me, I think it's a dangerous trend in our politics for us to turn our people into pawns in the game of politics. We now use insecurity to discredit the government in power. The thing is that the fact that it was used before does not mean it's right, and does not mean it's also right today. I cited the example of people who were kidnapped in Oyo State in Ibadan, and we have situation now that the families are in anguish, people are apprehensive, and they don't know the state of those people. I hope it doesn't have anything to do with the politics of Nigeria. I hope. But if it does, I think that would be a very huge tragedy for our country, because it means that the lives of our children, our teachers, and our people, our citizens, is not paramount anymore. We are now looking at having a situation whereby politics is what it's all about, and acquisition of power by all means is what it's all about. I think that to me is desperation, and it should not be entertained in our political system. And I want to believe that the people, the Nigerian electorate, should be able to identify people who are involved in such and punish them at the police at the polls, such that parties that does that and are able to identify should be shown the way out, that they do not belong in governance, they do not belong in taking care of the interests of the people, because they have shown that it's all about them and their own survival.
Your last line, Honorable GBADAMOSI, your last line now.
So I didn't get that.
Yeah, so your last line, just sum it up for us,
Okay. I would want to say that, look, 2027 is around the corner. And I would really wish and hope that most Nigerian politicians would be like former President Goodluck Jonathan, who said that the blood of any Nigeria or in Nigerians is not what is ambition. I mean, you cannot sacrifice Nigerians destroy his ambition. And the Nigerian politicians and the Nigerian political elite must take this seriously and look at what is in the best interest of the people. What is in the best interest of Nigerians? How is Nigeria going to develop? Because if all of those people are being kidnapped and killed and ransom is being taken, their investment is being destroyed, their businesses are falling apart, and they do not have hope in what we call Nigeria, democracy itself will die, and then we will not have a country or a state or a local government to say we want to rule over. And then the tragedy also is the fact that we have the terrorists from the Sahel, from the Sahara, who are coming down towards us. And the way they are going, if we allow infighting so much within ourselves, they will take over our space, and we don't have anywhere else to go. So I think our leaders must recalibrate and look at what is most important, which is the people, the country, and the well-being of the people and the country.
Honorable Isiaka Gbadamosi, I'd like to thank you so very much for coming on the program with us this morning.
Many thanks for having me.
Thank you. And that was our guest this morning, Honorable Isiaka Gbadamosi, a public affairs analyst, a public relations consultant, and of course, he's a politician too, and an advocate for sustainable development goals. He's been putting his thoughts on Nigeria today, and of course, developing stories as we're having them. I made that call into Oyo State in Ibadan, where he resides. We thank him so much for coming on the program. Jeffrey Adiku, thank you for connecting us with the people. We'll come back with perspectives tomorrow. Have a good day.
Lokacin jin daɗi sai Kivo Krima.
Idan na sha ko lokacin shan dari.
Even in Nigeria, that hot pounded yam and soup can't wait because a penalty is about to be taken. The FIFA World Cup 2026 starts June 11th to July 19th. All 104 games, pigeon commentary, and 4 dedicated channels. Yes! Get the special offer, DSTV decoder, dish, and 1-month Yanga subscription for only 15,000 Naira. The FIFA World Cup live on Supersport, only on DSTV.
Ya ku masu ciniki, albishirinku gasar Maggi Chicken Flavor ya sake dawowa.
A sayi Maggi Chicken mai dunkule biyu kwaya 50 a samu garabasar guda 10 a kyauta.
Tabbas haka ne, idan kuma guda 10 aka saya, to za a samu garabasar guda 4 a kyauta.
Wato ƙarin ɗanɗano mai armashi, ƙarin nishaɗi, tare da more kuɗinka yadda ya kamata.
A hanzarta maza a je shago mafi kusa domin sayan paketin kunshin gasar Maggi Chicken Flavor kafin ya ƙare. Gasar na nan har sai kayan sun ƙare. Da ni da Maggi, haɗuwa mai armashi.
Sachet don land gidigba. Now you don't get gidigba power to make your white dem dey shine wow. Come still fit sama 99.9% of all type of nyama for your floor and on top other things dem. Just jig am with jig sachet.
Invicta 98.9 FM.
Shiri na maduba rayuwa ya zo babba. Nazarin iyali zai yi bayani.
Shirin madubin rayuwa za ku saurara. Labarinmu na yau shine Kicibus.
Ta haihuwa kan shi muke batu kuma mu fara bangaren uwa wacce ta
Amaryata lafiya na ganki azba kan kujera ko jikin ne?
A'a da sauki ha musu kawai dai bakon wata na ne yazo